I am now at V's Lounge, just above the lovely Italian Zenzero restaurant in Kuala Lumpur. Here to speak to a man who has had more than 30 years experience disrupting rapidly growing online businesses. A Top Gun who will perhaps give Tom Cruise a run for his money. Let's take a look. I woke up this morning to a very nice message on my LinkedIn from this one Dave Platter. I understand he's one of your good friends.
Yes, he's one of my good friends. I worked with Dave for many, actually 2 decades now. At REA, iProperty, LG Hooker, Juwai, many companies actually, 5 companies.
Hence, I guess he's the best person to comment. He did say that, hey, Georg is going to be a better Top Gun than Tom Cruise. What do you think of that?
I would not dare to compare myself to Tom Cruise. I mean, he's unique, so I'm not a stuntman. I'm more an operator, a leader, somebody who likes growth businesses. Tom Cruise is more the action person.
Because you have approximately 30 years of experience in rapidly growing disruptive businesses online. So, how did you do this? Because you also led more than 30 acquisitions and this has been taken over 6 times. You're also instrumental in creating 3 unicorns during your career. So,
yes.
Tell us, how do you do this?
So far, one should say. So far, I hope there's more to come. So how do I do it? I mean, I focused initially very much on education. So I have got a technology background, computer science, and I amended it with an MBA to get a strategic feeling of understanding, how to set a strategy, how to set a vision, right. And added to it an accounting degree, because I do believe one should fully understand the financials when looking at businesses. So it's very much about these 3 pillars help me solve problems, and disruption is very much about solving problems in the real world and making it better, significantly better. So problem solving is one of them. The other thing is passion. I love to identify myself with an industry I work in, and when I do that, I get really passionate about it. I really love what I'm doing. I don't look at the clock, how many minutes are left for the day and so on. It's never enough time. And I love to work with people. I mean, you mentioned Dave Platter. There's many other people I've worked with in the past, and I continue to work at future engagements as well. And probably the last 2 elements are I can deal with failure, so I'm persistent on the one side, so I don't give up too easily. And number 2 is I'm not stubborn, so I'm able to change course or direction.
Right, so what are you up to now, with all the experience that you've had? What are you doing now, and how has these, shall I say, experiences helped you and is helping you in what you're doing right now?
I work in a number of industries, so in 3 roles as chair, in 2 roles as non-executive director, and in 2 roles as a senior advisor. And these are all fast-growing businesses. Fast-growing means growth rate of about 40% or more. That's what excites me, because if you move fast, it's a bit like in a fast-moving car. You have to know what you're doing and where you're going, because you don't have much time to respond to challenges or unexpected things.
Exactly. Out of all the countries and the entire continent, why do you decide to set up shop right here in Malaysia? Is that a good question, or it's something that's pretty?
No, it's a very good question.
It's very redundant.
What I like about Malaysia is it's in the center of Southeast Asia. So from Malaysia, within 2 hours, you get anywhere in Southeast Asia. And Southeast Asia is a powerhouse. Second is, Malaysia is very well developed. So if I look at Malaysia and compare it to Germany or Australia, I don't see many differences in terms of infrastructure. In fact, the technology infrastructure in Malaysia is better. I can get to the airport in half an hour from Central Station. Try this in Munich. Try this in Berlin. It takes you an hour or more. I can find talent in Malaysia very well, and it's affordable. So it's a much more affordable country, and the people are younger, it's fast growing, and they have a very positive attitude. So in Europe, I sometimes find you have to justify why people work for you. You have to explain to them why what a great honor it is that they work for you. Here, people, when you offer them a job, are excited about the job and they prove it to you that they are worth the job.
So that's the difference.
That's what I can see a bit as a difference. There's less an entitlement culture here and far more a culture of I can do certain things, I can grow. And to a certain extent, I can see this can-do attitude also in Australia. So Australia for me is kind of part of the larger Southeast Asian, or Southeast Australasian economic zone.
Right, in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and that's really interesting, bringing up like the attitude of people according to where they're coming from, because I'm sure backgrounds and ethnicity is not going to separate them from how they behave, especially during their work time.
Yeah.
I also find that, you can disagree with me, that in Asia, people tend to want to please the boss more, like people pleaser. Do you think that is also one of the traits in Asia? Do you find that?
In the fast-growing businesses, I haven't really found that trait. It's probably a trait which you have anywhere around the world, that there's certain groups of people who try to more please their superiors, and the others are more like trying to work with their superiors or with their team members. So I look at it very much as a team, and in the team you work together, whether you're the CEO, the CFO, whether you're head of customer service or the product manager, you work together with a purpose, and the purpose is to really deliver on the vision and deliver on the fast growth.
So it's definitely infrastructure and the people.
Yes.
So the secret of your success?
I would say people skills are important, very, very, very important. In fact, values in companies are one of the key ingredients for growth. There's a good test when you're at a barbecue or you're at a hot pot or anywhere, and you stand around the barbecue or the hot pot and people ask, so where do you work? What do you do?
Right.
And how people describe their employer, how people describe what they are doing, you can see from that how the culture is in this business. That's one of the key tests I do when I look at businesses, is understand how people talk about the company. It's not about what the CEO thinks the company does. It is what the people believe, what the people have understood. If they have really the confidence in the whole thing. You can write all these values on the wall. You go to a company and they say, oh, we're the best in people and whatever. And you think, okay, just by writing it on the wall, you're not. I faced that situation in iProperty. Walked in, we had like innovation on the wall. We had like, we look after people, we are passionate in property.
Big words, huh?
So first thing we did is we wiped it off the wall. We took it all down and we said we first need to learn it. We need to create experiences for staff to see that we are innovative. So we then really focused on innovation, and then people got really, really passionate about it and excited about it and felt proud about it. Because ultimately people want a purpose. They want to feel proud. And then we gradually put the values back up, and then people understood it. And once they understood it and once they felt it and believed it, the confidence was there to grow fast.
So all these will require trainings and etc. Training, I think, and a lot of talk with your employees.
Yes, yes, but less about like broadcasting to people all the time, because you have that in many companies where they constantly do sessions and talk and breakout sessions and so on. I mean, there's no point in reiterating to people that you're innovative. There's only one way to prove it. There's no way of telling people we look after people, but to prove it. You know, you can't tell we care about people at the same time you fire someone in a very disrespectful way. And I've been through these companies and I've seen CEOs do this, and this has really highly encouraged me to be different. Because ultimately, it's not one person who makes a difference. I mean, iProperty was not one person. All these unicorns and other things was not one person. It was the team. It was the team.
Very interesting. Coming back to you,
yes.
And this is something that I've always wanted to ask you, Georg. You've been so successful in what you've done, and all these years you've actually not experienced any failures. I'm sure, maybe a bit of bumps here and there. But who do you emulate in the business world? Do you have a mentor? Perhaps you can share with us. And
I don't have a mentor, but I was fortunate enough to work with inspiring people. And these don't necessarily have to be the boss these can be people you work with or are part of the team, and you learn from each other. There's another one, for example, if you think about this whole concept I mentioned earlier, this concept of a car, a fast-moving car. If you're in a fast-moving car, if I'm running a company and driving at 200 kilometers or 300 kilometers an hour, what do I focus on? I focus on the windscreen. I focus on what is ahead of me.
Yes.
And I look a bit into the rear mirror just to check what's behind me. And I look at the dashboard, that's the presence. Most of the reporting in most companies is very much past oriented. So it's like driving a car very fast with only a rear mirror. I don't know whether you've ever tried that. Rarely do you get a dashboard. You don't even know how you're doing now. You know how you've done last month, which means it takes another month to even respond to it. By that time, you could have crashed against the wall. So that's another way, important concept, besides this barbecue hot pot culture bit, is about how does the company measure and report on success? Is it future oriented or is it past reporting?
So this is where you, Georg, can look into your crystal ball and tell me what is in the future for you and the companies that are under Chmiel advisory. Basically, what is your dream?
So my dream is that Malaysia earns this spot which it deserves in Southeast Asia as the leading country and as the power hub in these countries, or at least one of the countries besides maybe Indonesia, and takes the lead, creates lots of new growth opportunities, creates uniqueness in certain industry, focuses on certain industry and goes really deep, and becomes known as a brand name for fast-growing, latest technology type of businesses.
How long do you think that will take?
Probably between 3 and 5 years. What is really important is also it's a collaboration of all the stakeholders, of the people of Malaysia, of the government, of people who run companies, as well as foreign investment.
All right, very powerful dream.
It's a powerful dream, but I do believe it's possible.
Thank you, Georg. Please. Now, if you're looking to grow your business, enhance your skills, and further disrupt the industry that you're in, perhaps Georg Chmiel is the person you're looking for. He has definitely taken businesses to a different level, one which is more dynamic and profitable. And Edwards for Top Guns.